Hey folks, welcome once again. What's on the mind is not even so much what's on the mind, it's what's on the TV or your device or wherever you're watching from. A World Test Championship. They've run ahead, haven't they? The Australians, 469. Yeah, a good total, particularly in the way that they kind of went about it. The test match moving along, as happens, these days. Travis Head, man, how's about that? What do you get? 163, like 170 odd balls, magic. And then classical from the other end, I guess. Steve Smith doing what Steve Smith does, batting time and making sure that they put on a partnership and they slide into a decent position. You don't expect that if you get 469 that you'd lose a test match, but I'll tell you this: that if you get it at four and over, which is what the test match is, by the way, India are five down for 150, and they've not batted 40 overs yet. So, yeah. The test match moving along really quickly. As I speak about it, this is before the day right in the middle. As some people say, a moving day, and all of that stuff. But yeah, whatever you want to call it. But just thought to go through kind of what's happened in the test match. And the first thing I think is selection. You think about it. So often we'd have conversations perhaps on social media, and you'd ask, what's your test team? And people will say, where are you playing? And that is to say, because of the conditions, I might pick somebody else, or I might pick a slightly different team. And generally, when it comes to test matches, you strive as a team to get to a place where you have what is a balanced team for all conditions. And I think India's template is one where both Jadeja and Ashwin play. And this is not saying this retrospectively. Given the choice, I think I probably would have gone the other way, actually. If I'm picking one, I think it's Ashwin I might have picked in this case. And in this case, mainly because of those lefties. I just think he brings a bit more. And it's not to play one against the other. I don't think they should have been. As I say, when you pick a team, generally, you want to be picking one that is balanced for all conditions. Sometimes that's difficult. But I think India's one has both of them playing. So three seamers, one of those being an all-rounder if necessary. If not, it doesn't matter because both Ashwin and Jadeja are all-rounders. So you've got your depth of batting, you got your keeper who can bat, and you got these three bowlers who don't necessarily have to be able to bat. They just have to be really good out and out fast bowlers. And if they are, away you go, Maybe just complicated things too much in thinking about, it's green. And how often, when you do pick 4 and 5 seamers, in this case, a fourth one, how often do you use all four? And how often is it that all four will be the ones that sort of do the damage and on a pitch that does a little bit? Generally, it'd be 3, right? And the fourth might chip in. More often than not, he won't. And that's kind of how it goes. So 3 and 2 spinners on most conditions. In fact, I would even go so far as to say on all conditions. If you're an Indian side in this current time, pick which your 3 fast bowlers are when everybody's fit and you've got everyone to pick from, and then pick Jadeja and Ashwin. I think India missed a trick there. The Lions already got a wicket. And ironically, he gets the wicket of Jadeja. So I think looking ahead, and I don't want to do that too much, but looking ahead, I think that spin will have a part to play. Off spin certainly will, from Australia's perspective, because that's who they have, that's who they rely on, and he's been successful, he's been consistent, he bowls well, Nathan Lyon. Can India come back into this one, is the question, right? And the answer is yes. Will they? Well, that's a whole other story. And just thinking about things and the way it's all gone in the lead up as well. Oh, I felt for them on day number 2, because to go from standing in the field for 20 overs to then having to do it for 120. Yes, there's a rest in between. But let me tell you that weariness, aching body, aching limbs, not so pleasant. Particularly that first game back. And that first game back for India happens to be a humongous test match. World Test Championship final. Yeah, not so simple. And then, can you bowl yourselves to victory should the need arise? And I'm not saying bowl last. I mean bowl a next time to try and ensure you're containing things. Because the way it looks, 5 down for 150, batting quickly, they need something. How close can they get? Any lead's a good lead if you're Australia. And with the way that pitch seems to be kind of starting to go a little bit up, a little bit down. Must admit, it's kind of done it all the way through. That ball that got Kohli, there was the one that hit Marnus Labuschagne. There's Rahane. There's a bit going on that surface. Those tall, fast bowlers. Australia will be licking their lips thinking, right, we're in here, and they'll be trying to make sure they can get a humongous lead. It still is poised and interesting, but definitely it's the Aussies that have run ahead. So good to see Steve Smith in the run. So good to see Travis Head continuing his form. Yeah, but there's still a long way for the race yet. And let's see. It would be horrible, wouldn't it? If you're of an Indian inclination to have been there a couple of times and a couple of times not got it. As I said, I don't want to look ahead too much. Just to say that in this instant, I'm looking and thinking this is going to take a great big turnaround. If you're India, if you're Australia, you'd be disappointed if the test match turned on its head from here. Still good performances to look out for, I'm sure. And I'll keep enjoying watching it. Tell me, what do you reckon? Look into your crystal ball. Tell me who you think is going to win this one. Tell me if you think India can come back or if Australia are too far gone. That's it for now. Catch you next time. Subscribe. Okay? Ciao.